Hello, welcome to the Creative Obsession Podcast. My name is Carrie, and I'm coming to you from just outside of Portland, Oregon. Today is September 1st, 2017. Welcome, September. August can go away now. um, this is a podcast mostly about knitting, but also everything creative. So quilting, crocheting, painting, cross stitch, whatever I happen to get into. So thank you so much for joining me, whether you're new or returning. I appreciate that you are here with me. You can find me on Instagram and Etsy and a Ravelry group under the Creative Obsession. I am on Ravelry as Carrie S. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm a little flushed. I'm a little hot. I did my first kickboxing class this morning. So I'm a little tired, but I'm going to do this. It's warm. So because I did the class this morning, it's later in the afternoon than I normally record, and I'm warm, and it's warm up here. So I have a fan going. There may be a little bit of white noise from it, but I got to have it. So yeah, we're still in a heat wave. We're going to be up in the 90s and above for the next 4 or 5 days. It is so dry here. It is so horribly dry. We usually get some storms in August to bring some rain, and we haven't had rain in way too long. So we're all starting to shrivel up, turn into raisins, but it should end pretty soon. We're going into Labor Day weekend, which is a 3-day weekend here in the States. Some schools have gone back to school. A lot of them start on Tuesday after the Labor Day weekend. So it's kind of, for me, September and the beginning of school was always kind of like my New Year's. It's when, like, the kids would go back to school after being home during the summer, and then your regular routine started, and then you sort of just get into that flow. And so it feels good. It feels good to be in that, getting back into that. I'm looking forward to it getting cooler, because this 90 to 100 degree weather has just been awful. So we did have the eclipse since the last time I recorded, which was really cool. It didn't get as dark here as I thought it might, because we were like 98%, 99, 98%. And I thought, well, that's pretty close, but just that little sliver of sun that didn't get covered up was pretty amazing of how much light that gives out. It was still really cool. We had our glasses and we're looking up and seeing it move, the moon move across the sun, which was really neat. And then it just turned into a really weird color. Like, it almost looked like you were looking through sunglasses or a tinted window or something, but you were standing out in the middle of the street. And so my brain was just like you wanted to take off your glasses or something, but you didn't have any on. And it was kind of an odd feeling. And it just kind of got this weird sort of amber color. And then, like that, it was over, and it got sunny and hot again. And it was pretty cool. They did have some long lines on some of the highways, but not apocalyptic like they were predicting, which was good. We still couldn't have gone camping anyway, because they ended up closing the campground we were going to go to because of wildfires. So not only are we dealing with the excessive heat and dry weather, but we have to deal with the wildfires that are happening pretty much all over Oregon. So our air quality on those hot days has been really, really bad, like super unhealthy bad, because all the smoke, there's so many fires, all the smoke is being pulled in to the west side of the state, and then it just sits there. And so it's like you get a sore throat, and the air just looks gross, and we're used to having pretty clean air here. So it's been pretty bad, but yeah, so the eclipse was really, really nice. Being that we have really kind of sucked at camping this year, we decided to, we're going to go away after the boys get back from their honeymoon. We're going to take the next week off and celebrate our honeymoon, our anniversary, and just get away. And so we're going to go over to Sun River, which is a area community type of place over in Central Oregon, which is the area we love. And fingers crossed, by then, because that's still a couple weeks away, that some of the fires will have been more in control, maybe. I think we're supposed to maybe get some rain next week, because a lot of the fires are really near Central Oregon, and so we just took a gamble that we're going to be okay. So we rented a house. We're going to go for 5 nights and just do nothing or do whatever we want to do. We really both feel that we need to just get away and have a vacation, a relaxing vacation. Yellowstone was a blast. It was just a different kind of vacation. And so we really feel like we need to do one that's just sit around and read, knit, whatever. If we feel like going for a bike ride, we'll do that. We want to go for a walk, we'll do that. But really just no agenda. So right now I'm got to work on, I had talked about it, gosh, early in the summer, that I was going to make a little cover for Millie's bike basket. So I think we've figured out how to rig it. I just have to figure out how to sew this. I have like a solar screening, so it's like a shade screen to make over the top of it so that she won't get too hot in her bike. So I will definitely show pictures of that if I get that finished, which I need to work on, but it gets warm up here. So anyway, that's kind of what's been happening the last couple of weeks. So now I'm like getting more things together, doing what I really need to make sure I get done for the wedding. So kind of shifting gears to that. So we've got a new quilt on the wall. This is a quilt that I just finished quilting for the Mama Made It Quilt Shop. As many of you know, if you've followed me for a while, I used to be a long arm quilter for the public, and now I only quilt for the public for her shop. My friend Jenny owns the Mama Made It Quilt Shop in Longview, Washington, and so when she needs a quilt done for the shop, she calls me and I'll do it for her. So anyway, just finished that one. She's going to be having kits for that in her shop, and it's called O is for Ohio, and the pattern is by Pacific Patchwork. So if you're interested in getting a kit to make this quilt, the link to that and anything else that I mentioned will be in the description box below the YouTube video. So, you can make it in any colors you want, but if you want these colors, she's going to have the kit for it. So the star blocks that you can see, that's called an Ohio star. A lot of blocks in quilting are named, and so that's an Ohio star block, hence the name. What did I say it was? O is for Ohio. So it's about a 57-inch square, and I don't know what else to tell you about it. So that's about it. I am going to announce some winners to our giveaways. We had a couple of giveaways, which were really fun to read the responses to that. So let's move on to that. Okay, now for the giveaways. So we had 2 giveaways in the group over the last couple of weeks. And the first one was to get this self-striping yarn that's from the Cozy Knitter. And this is her His and Hers colorway. And with that comes Knitty by Nature progress keepers and stitch markers. And the prompt was to tell your favorite moment or most memorable moment from your wedding or from a wedding you've been to. And it was really fun and touching to read some of the responses, because I'd read some and some of them made me laugh and some of them just was like, oh, that's really sweet. So I did random number generator, and the winner for this one was number 13, which is I'm Ecole. It's Linda. I'll put the name on the screen. So Linda, congratulations. Message me to give me your address so that I can get this sent to you. And thank you to everybody that participated in that. It was really fun to read the responses. It was really cute. Then the next giveaway was for this bag that was made and donated to us by Bags by Awesome Granny. That's Darlene. And I'm going to put some notions in here. I've got some different kinds of notions that I'll also put in here. So the random number picked, number 56, which is Morning Thaw. Kay, congratulations again. Kay, I have your address, so no need to contact me for that. And I will send that out to you as well. So thank you to everybody that donated and participated. The prompt for this was if you could meet your a fictional character in real life, who would it be? And so that was kind of funny. Some of them I had never heard of. I didn't know what they were. But some of them were like, oh gosh, that would be fun. So that was just fun. It was a fun, it was fun to read the responses and stuff. So thank you to everybody that participated in it. And I really appreciate it. And congratulations to the winners that are going to get those 2 great prizes. So let's go into what I've been working on knitting wise. I did finish something, right? Super shocking. I finished my socks. This was made with my my campfire colorway. It was one that was my first one when I was trying to develop the color, which I really, really love. The only thing that I'm not super pleased about, I did a 3x2 ribbed sock, which is fine, and I tried a German short row heel. They're too tight across here. They don't fit. I mean, they fit. I can wear them. They're just not comfortable because they just feel a little too tight. So I think I'm going to give these to my mom because her foot's not quite as big and she doesn't have that issue. So her birthday is the first part of October, and I thought, I'll just give them to my mom. So, yeah, there's nothing much else to say, although I'm not going to do the German short row heel again. I even did where you add extra rows in case you have a high instep. I just really feel like the best heel for me is the heel flap and gusset. It just works. It fits. So I think I'm just going to stick with that. But it was good to try something new. I don't know that it was necessarily faster than my heel flap, and that could have been because I was also just learning it. But yeah, it didn't work. So unfortunately, I'm not going to keep them, but my mom will like them. So that was my only finished object. And I'm really trying to be somewhat monogamous. Monogamous meaning you're just going to work on one thing, which I can't do because, you know, you work on different projects for different reasons. And so, but I'm trying to narrow it down to maybe just working on 2 or 3 projects. Because I made a comment, something to Jim, and I was like, gosh, I just don't feel like I get anything done. He goes, it's because you're working on too many things. And I have all these bags of knitting projects all around me, and I'm like, that's true. You work a little bit here and a little bit there, and you never feel like you get anything done. So I'm trying to kind of focus. It's going to be hard because today's September 1st, and I entered into the Ho-He Fall Cow, and so you can cast on today. And I'm not going to be finished with the other projects I have yet. So it might be 3 projects that I work on. That's not bad, right? So I've gotten, I feel, quite a ways on my So Faded sweater. That's the sweater pattern by Andrea Mowry. And I had mentioned before that I had started it. And my stitch count was like so off. I couldn't figure out what I did and I couldn't fix it. So I ripped it out and started again. So this time it worked. It's amazing when you do it right, how well it works. And I've gotten pretty far. So I've gotten all the way to separating for the sleeves. So now it's kind of looking like a sweater. And so I've gotten, I don't know, a couple inches below where you separate for the sleeves. I've already started blending in my second color. I just kind of went until my color ran out, which is going to lead me to a question here if I can remember to ask you. But the colors, it's going to be a very, very subtle fade because my colors are all very similar. So this was yarn that I dyed for this project. Then I'm fading into Black Sheep yarn, and it's Tea Time. And so it's a lavender with very subtle teal and pink. So it's just a little bit more subtle than the top color. So you really don't notice it, but I think as I knit further, you'll see that it just softens up a little bit. And then my next color is going to be from Black Sheep yarn in her lavender color. So that's what's going to be next. And like I said, it's all going to be very subtle, but I'm really, really happy with it because it looks like a sweater. And I'm thinking I should try it on, but that means I got to take these stitches off and put them on a cable or something, and that just seems like that's a pain in the butt. So I kind of did this going, yep, I think it'll fit. So it may just be good enough. So faded sweater, it's coming along nicely. And now I'm at the point where I'm just going to knit. And I can just sit there and knit, 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 and which is really good TV knitting. I don't have to worry about making increases or decreases or shapings or anything funny. I just have to knit until I get it as long as I want. So here comes my question. There are going to be sleeves, and I'm going to do the sleeves that go like half sleeves, I think they're called. So I need to save. So I'm knitting with this, knitting around. Well, this is going to need to be on the sleeve. So how do I know when to stop using this color? Like how do I know how much to save to add to the sleeves so that the sleeves can also fade? I can't find that in the instructions. It just says fade when you want to fade. It's your sweater, do what you want to do, which I appreciate, but it's my first sweater. And so when I pick this up and start knitting, I need to use this color because that's going to be what is going to match with the body. So I can't just knit till this is gone. And I don't know how much to keep out. So if anybody has a hint about that, I'd really appreciate it. I'm not quite there yet because I haven't done, I mean, I still have a pretty full ball. So I've got a little ways. But if you could leave me a comment or message me on Ravelry or something and let me know kind of how much I should save for sleeves, I'd appreciate it. Because I think I would save this one and then the next one. And then by then it'll be past, or maybe you just do it with this one. I don't know. But I am enjoying the fact that it's mindless knitting at this point. I know at some point it may feel boring, but it's a good TV knitting. Oops, sorry. Good TV knitting for me just because I could just sit in it and not have to think about it and have a conversation, and so it's good. Another thing that I picked up and started was a new sock because I finished my other socks, and so that's what you do is you start a new pair of socks. So this is a really fun pattern. This is a pattern by Renee Keys. Sorry, Renee, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. And it's called Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. And my printer just took a sucky picture, so you can't really see it. But hopefully you can see this. It makes, with like a little bit of cable, it makes pumpkins. Can you see that? I'm going to put a picture in here if I remember, because you got to see it. And so it's been a fun, look how far I've gotten. Like that usually takes me a month. So one of the reasons I think is because it's on a little bit bigger of a needle. She suggested a 2.5, and I usually knit on a 2.25. And I thought I'm going to trust it because of the cabling. That might make it a little tight, so go with the bigger gauge. I think that's helping him knit faster. I may just switch to 2.5s because I like the fabric and I like the fact that it's kind of moving along a little bit faster. These are my Addy Turbos, which are also that I think I've been knitting with Hiya Sharps, which I really like, but I actually feel like these actually may be a little faster for me. So this is, this is my Squash Blossom colorway, which is a fall colorway that's in my shop. It's funny, I mean, I love this color. There, can you see the pumpkins? But I'm not a fall, I don't wear fall stuff. I mean, socks I'll wear, but so in order to think of what a good fall color would be, I thought, what would Leslie like? Because Leslie's definitely fall. She loves the fall colors and is a good inspiration for that. And so that's how I came up with this, is because it was like, what would Leslie wear? And I'm talking about Leslie of the Naughty Knitwits. So she did inspire the colorway to the point of like helping me figure out what fall was, even though she didn't know that she was doing that. So I would highly suggest this pattern. It's just a little simple cable, which keeps it a little interesting. It's just down the front. I'm now doing the heel, so it's going pretty quickly. I do think I'm gonna, I was planning on doing this for my mom, and giving this to her for her birthday. She's also going to get the campfire socks because those just don't fit. So, yeah, I'm going to give her these as well. And I'm hoping they'll fit. I'll have to see what they're like, which now I can probably try them on even just to see how tight that makes it. It's just cool because when you pull that out, which is what your foot's going to do, there's pumpkins. And I love it. So fun pattern. Definitely look it up. It's called Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. She designed it after her love of Disney movies. And it's like, I got it. And then I just kept singing the song. It got stuck in my head. So I'm going to now move into some new stuff that I picked up. And I've got some new colorways that are going to go in my shop. So let me gather that stuff and I'll be right back. Okay, something new that I'm going to be casting on, I think I mentioned that the Hohi's having a Hohi Fall Cal, and it starts September 1st, which is today, and you knit any Hohi pattern. And so I thought, you know, I want to do that. I don't know. I'm so bad because I want to do cals, and then I think, I don't know if I can get it done, but I think this one goes until the end of the year, so I have time. So I decided to do the 3-color cashmere cowl. It's a pattern that I've been wanting to do for a while. Sorry, my fan's blowing my papers. So I'm going to do the 3-color cashmere cowl, and I'm going to do it in these colors. So I've got Rain Cloud, Driftwood, and Denim. And I just think it makes just a lovely trio. It will be something that I can wear with jeans, kind of wear wherever. It's just going to be, it's going to be good. So I really feel like I can manage the cowl because it's not a huge thing. I've already got the sweater that I want to try and get done. I'm really, really wanting to try to have it done before Vogue Knitting Live, which I don't know if I've mentioned on here before. So Vogue Knitting Live is going to be in Seattle in November. And so me and Michelle and Leslie and Lori and Angelique are all going to take the train up and we're going to do Vogue Knitting Live for the weekend. And I really want to have my sweater done for that. And so I'm really got to focus on that, and then anything else is just gravy because I've got shawls and stuff I can wear. So anyway, this is my next cast on. Probably not today, but soon. I'm going to do it soon. I did get a couple new purchases. A yarn shop in Portland called Twisted, and I've shown that before. It's a great yarn shop. It's a great yarn shop, and they carry Blue Moon Fiber Arts yarn. And so I follow them on Instagram, and they were showing, or I don't know, followed them somewhere, and they were showing that Blue Moon Fiber Arts made an total eclipse of the sun colorway that they were going to carry. So of course I had to get it. So that's my souvenir of the total eclipse. Don't know what I'm going to do with it. I think it would actually make a really neat hat, but I don't wear hats. I knitted Jim hats. He wears some of them. Jim doesn't really wear the stuff I knit him. So he's no good. So maybe just socks. Maybe I'll just knit socks. I don't know. But pretty colors. I was kind of hoping this was actually going to be black, but it's just a dark gray, which is fine. So you got some aqua and orange and stuff like that. That's my total eclipse of the sun. So I think they still have some at Twisted. I'll put a link to the shop down below, and if you're interested, you can get it there. I don't know if you can get it directly from Blue Moon Fiber Arts. I haven't checked that. If you're interested, go check it. Another thing I did, I needed to go into Michael's craft store to buy some ribbon because I was doing some stuff for the wedding. And I was wandering around, and I'm a sucker for cute packaging for one. But I got this cute little Karen cupcake. It's enough to make a hat, and it comes with a pom-pom. And I thought, how cute is that? That's going to make an adorable little chemo cap for a kid or something. So I got this rainbowy one. Is there a color name on it? Candy Buttons. I would have bought it for the name. I got that one, and then I got this one. And it has a lime green pom-pom on it. And this one's called Mint Smoothie. I just thought these would make adorable hats. See, they show a hat on there. Can I show it like that? And so they're just sitting there like all so cute. So for $5, I'm going to make a hat. 2 hats. Well, I mean, I've got lots of hats to make, but those are a couple of them. I did catch a new podcast. I forgot to write it down. New Leaf. I think it's called New Leaf Podcast. New Leaf Podcast. Anyway, she's from the Netherlands. Her name's Carmen. And I've only caught a little bit. I happened to catch her. Went to knit night on Tuesday and nobody showed up. So I just sat there and knitted by myself and threw a podcast up on my phone and just sat there and knitted. And she came up and I was like, okay, I think she's going to be kind of good. So, so yeah, that's a new one that you can check out if you're interested. I also had my niece Ella over a couple days ago, and we did more pour painting. And so she's been really wanting to do some more of it. So got it all set up and did it. And then afterwards, we just videoed a little clip, a little excerpt, and we were being goofy and just to get her on the podcast and stuff, just to do something fun. So that's going to be at the end where you can watch that. I should have mentioned that in the beginning. And like I said, we were just being goofy. And sitting on the couch the way I did is not real flattering, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. And then it'll be a good reminder of why I need to keep going to the kickboxing class, because not pretty. So I'm going to go now into what I have new in the shop, and yeah, so that'll be it. And then, like I said, at the very end, I'll put the clip in of Ella and I in our little, we just talked about the techniques we used and what we liked and didn't like about the different techniques. So we'll go into that. So if you're not interested in the shop update stuff, thanks so much for sticking around. And if you're interested, there's just a few things. Because I haven't been able to dye every day because of other stuff. So, a new one that I am in love with is Spellbound. And I also have it on a sock blank. That's how it started. I did it on a sock blank and I was like, oh my gosh, I love this color. And so I've done some on skein. So it's available on both. This is going to be my next sock. After I get done with the ones for my mom, I need to knit this for myself for October socks because I love it. And I'm not normally, like I said, I don't wear orange or anything, but I think these are like the most fun socks. Some of them have more purple on them. It's all in there. It's all in there. Oh, they're so cool. Another one I have is Berrylicious. It's a combination of pink and purple and a little bit of reddish and some speckles. This will be a really good colorway if you make the pussy hat. I think this would make really pretty pussy hats. So that's Berrylicious. And this is Swamp Thing. And it's like a dingier, like that's not a good word. That doesn't make you want to go out and buy yarn. Hey, buy this dingy yarn. But it's kind of muted. It's more muted teal. And kind of a brownish color. So that's Swamp Thing. So that's all I have new. So yeah, so that is all I have, and it is a little bit shorter, but it is what it is. I think I need to go eat something because I'm getting really, really hungry. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you to everybody who gave me sweet comments. I really do appreciate it. I shared some personal stuff on the last episode, which I've tried to do in the past, and I could never get through it, and so I just never could put it up. And so, you know, you never know how much to put out there, because I think we live in an age where there's just too much information out there. There's too much sharing. And I'm a real private person, so it was hard to go there. But I appreciate everybody's comments and thoughts of love and prayers and stuff. And it was it was really touching. So stay tuned now if you want to see Ella and I being goofballs and talking about our pour painting. I will try and be back in a couple of weeks. By 2 weeks from today, I shouldn't have my grand dog here. So I should be able to record before we go to Sun River. So anyway, I hope to see you in 2 weeks. Love to you all. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Okay, she doesn't normally look this disgusting.
I came from gymnastics.
She's usually not so disgusting. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. I want to introduce my niece, Ella.
Hi.
Okay, so Ella came over today, and we are downstairs recording a little bit because it's too warm upstairs. So
It's really warm.
It's really warm. So we're down in the living room, and we were doing some more pour painting, and so we were going to kind of share what our thoughts were on that. So first of all, it turned out different this time than it did the last time.
Yes.
And better or worse than last time?
The same.
Just different.
Yeah.
So we tried a couple different techniques of, with the first one you did, how did you do that one? The gray one.
I just poured it all into a cup and some on the canvas itself, just the individual colors.
But you layered in the cup.
I did layer in
Okay.
the cup. And then I just poured the cup on and moved it around.
And so how did you feel like that went? Because you kept saying it was really different.
The paints that we used were really different, and the
The way that you mixed it, maybe?
the
The silicone stuff, or the
liquids that we put in it were different than the last time we
True.
tried. So
Do you think you like that one?
yeah.
The gray one? That's really pretty. I'll put some pictures on here to show you so you'll know what ones we're talking about.
Yes.
And then, okay, so then I tried a technique of pouring layers on the canvas and then blowing it because it's supposed to make a flower, and it just sort of blended. It
looked cool, but not
Kind of.
the way you
not the
would
way
want
I
it.
did it. I think my paints were too thick. I think that, so that when I blew it, it didn't spread as much as it wanted to, or as I wanted it to. So I put it aside. I was pretty disappointed in it. Put it aside. Then we did smaller ones, which was kind of fun because it went a lot faster because you covered it way faster. So we did some smaller ones. And the one that I did, the blue one, I layered all my colors in the cup, then put the canvas over the cup, tipped it over, let that all kind of sit so the paints go down to the canvas, and then lifted the cup up. And I really liked the effect that one had.
It was really cool.
It was really cool, that blue one. And then on your little one, you just drizzled different colors, right?
Yes.
And that one turned out pretty cool. So, okay, so those were lots of different techniques that we tried. So then, because my first one I didn't like, I really didn't like it, I painted over it while it was still wet, and I did, what did I do? I don't even remember.
You did.
Did I drizzle?
You drizzled and
drizzled, poured, and it was already on a pretty wet canvas, so the colors did kind of spread. It ended up looking okay.
It looks pretty cool.
It looks better than it did. Not my favorite. I think my first couple tries were my favorite.
Yes.
And then you
Those
just
are
did
cool.
the purple one for your mom.
I did.
And how did you do that one?
I did you take a cup and you put it on, you flip it over, and that one turned out pretty cool. I waited a long time for the paint to sit, which I think really helped because I got a lot of paint on the canvas, so I was able to move it around a lot. And
So when you tipped it, you let that sit for a long time.
Yes.
And that one turned out really neat. That's the purple one.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be for your mom. I don't think she's going to get it.
I don't know about that. We shall see.
Give her one of mine. Just tell her you did it. So anyway, so now we've tried a couple of different techniques. Which one of the ones that we tried do you feel gave you the look that you wanted?
Well, it's kind of hard to imagine what look you want just because of you have no clue what it's going to turn out like.
Yeah.
But I really like how the last one I did with the cup that you flipped over, how that one turned out.
Because of the colors? Because
just
of how it broke apart?
Just because of how it all spread, because it's more mixed together, but not but still having its individual colors, which I found it to be pretty cool.
Yeah. So what technique do you want to try the next time?
probably another flip over of the cup. That was.
I want to try. I got to look into it some more about when you use the spatula and skim it.
Yeah.
I have to watch some YouTube videos again to see what that looks like, because I remember that looked pretty neat, but somehow I wasn't getting that.
It looks very hard because you have to have a very steady hand with the spatula.
And I think for what I'm finding the trick is getting the right consistency with how much liquid and how thin to make the paints. Because I think when we first started today, our paints were thicker than they should have been. So
Yes.
they weren't really moving around as much as either of us wanted it to. So then kind of like, okay, that didn't work. And then we added more fluids, and I think we got the looks more like what we wanted them to.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, fun project.
It is very fun.
So do you think it's a project that small kids could do? Like, what age would you think that they could start?
Well, I'm 15 and it's fun for me, so I believe it's probably wow.
That's okay. You're not in school yet.
Bloopers!
Okay. The card's full, so we had to get a new card, which was upstairs. Okay, so we were talking about, you have to sit back so you're not blurry.
Hold on. I'm trying to catch a squirrel here.
So we were talking about what age that we thought would be good for this project. Because people look for things to do as Christmas presents for homemade gifts. Do you think like an 8-year-old? Maybe? I mean, obviously with parental guidance.
Yes, it's hard to not touch the paint because I was even finding myself trying to like touch the paint because sometimes it doesn't go the way you want it to. But
do you think an 8-year-old
I think
would even have an idea of what they want it to do?
I think that it'd be like age 10 would be a better, because that's kind of where I started to craft and do paints, and like that actually looked in my
what you
decision wanted to look like. So I feel 10 is a good number, or 8, or it kind of just depends on the kid.
Depends on the kid, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we don't know what we're gonna craft next. Today, that was it.
Today, yes.
We have a huge mess in the kitchen.
Yes.
It's okay. It all cleans up.
Yes.
It's all water soluble. So, well, I'm so glad you came and got to be on the podcast.
Woohoo!
Woo! Super exciting. Did you want to come up here, Millie? Come on.
Oh, this is Peanut.
That's Peanut. Pee-pee.
This is Mr. P.
And there's my scruffy Millie. She needs a haircut. She gets her haircut tomorrow.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. So, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. See you in a little bit.
Bye. You should have bloopers.
Bloopers, the outtakes. It's hot down here.
What are you doing? I'm fine.